G'day fellow moto vloggers, Bandit Nev in the Scun Knuckle. Welcome to the Scun Knuckle. First of all, happy Father's Day to all fathers in Australia. I believe overseas that they've already had their Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. What do we have for you today? Well, I can tell you one thing, no stickers. No stickers today. So I promised a comparison of the two Bluetooth devices I have for the helmet. The Scalar Rider Q3 and the Sena SMH10-11. I'll explain that in a sec. Okay, first of all, both units are good. The pluses with the Scalar Rider Q3 is it's slightly smaller, less bulky, a little bit harder to use than the Sena with the buttons, and you've got very small buttons here for the volume on the side there. But Scalar Rider get around that by having like a system where the more wind that gets into your helmet, the louder this gets, so it's automatically adjusting the volume so you can hear it. So that's a good thing with the Scalar Rider. The volume on the Sena is a jog dial, as they call it, and that is very, very easy to use, and this is probably why they don't use that system that the Scalar Rider does, where it automatically adjusts the volume to your speakers in the helmet. So that's one thing that one does and one thing that the other one doesn't do. Okay, the Scalar Rider Q3 has a FM radio in it, so if you get sick of listening to your tunes, you can listen to FM radio if it's available. The Sena SMH10 does not. I believe the latest edition is the 20S. That does have an FM radio in it with an antenna, but well, I haven't got that, so not that it really matters about the FM radio, because I'm out in the fringe area anyway, and as soon as you get in the country you sort of lose it anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Ease of switching it on and off, I would suggest that the SMH10 is a lot easier to switch on and off, especially with gloves. The Scalar Rider is a little bit more difficult to figure out, especially with thick gloves on. The two buttons here for switching it on and answering the phone, etc. But still quite good. The reason that I bought the SMH10 is because you can piggyback a Bluetooth device which hooks up to the SMH10, and you can use a microphone through your SMH10 to vlog. I haven't got it yet because I haven't got the device that attaches to the GoPro as yet. That's in the pipeline. That's the reason I bought something different, is so I could try out this backpack for the GoPro for the SMH10, because I have a big problem with my shark helmets and I can't have the GoPro on the side because it's all skew woof, and it's a real pain in the butt because the chin bar lifts right back. But with this device and the backpack, it will certainly make a big difference, because you won't have that cord coming out of the GoPro and it gets right up against the helmet, so that means that the GoPro's on an angle rather than nice and straight. But anyway, that's for the future. What else? To answer the phone, well, you just press that little button there. That's quite handy. Very easy to use. So they got their pluses, they got their minuses. If you choose either one, I think you'd be happy. If you want one to vlog Bluetooth without cords going to the GoPro or the SMH10 or the newer version, the 20S, we'll do that as well. So the speakers for the Scalar Rider in the helmet are good. The speakers in the SMH10 are definitely better. I find that the speakers on the SMH10 are really nice speakers. They feel more bulky. They've got more volume to them. So yeah, the speakers, well, the SMH10 wins there. Although the Scalar Rider Q3 speakers are fine, it's not a problem, but I believe that the SMH10 are a little bit better. What else? Well, basically that pretty well covers what I know about them. I've only received phone calls on the Scalar Rider at the moment, so I haven't received a phone call on that as yet, so I can't compare that, but I'm sure that would be, the SMH10 will be fine. So yeah, comparison, well, depending on what you want to do, basically. Either one you'd be happy with. If you want to vlog cordlessly, so to speak, that one. If you don't, well, that one will be fine. So yeah, so that's that. I hope I explained that as good as I can. Recently I bought some little lights for the bike, and I've got them mounted here. What I'll do is I'll take the camera off the stand and I'll show you where I mounted them, because there was another place I really wanted them, but I found that, well, that was probably not a good idea. And I'll show you right now. Okay, here's the lights here. I've mounted them on the forks here, and that's got a little bit of a stem here, if you can see that there. That had my little Sabragander here, it had them on there. So I've taken these off and used that stem there that they come on. It's a very windy day, by the way, and mounted the lights there. As you can see, they're not hooked up yet. Let's just put that back. The wiring has to go up there, and I've got a switch to put on the handlebar, etc. And once that's done, they will be operational. I think you can see that one there. Yep, okay. So that's where I've mounted them. People are saying well, they might not, they might vibrate and break or whatever. Well, I'm not sure. They may not. I'm willing to take the chance. Around this side, you've got that one there. On this side. Now, where I wanted to put it was up here. If you have a look here, it's a lovely little round indent, if you can see it. Let's see, there we go, just under here. The problem was, which I didn't think about, which my friend told me, well, what you're going to have to do is to see how far your forks go down when you brake, and brake hard, because you don't want the lights hitting the guard here. So he put a see it there, the cable tie. So that's how far the forks go down when you brake heavy. Now that could be a bit too far, and it could make the lights hit the mudguard, which would be no good. So that is why the lights are mounted down here, because I think it's the best place. I can't really see anywhere else to mount them. So when they're fitted and going and wired up, I will show you guys how they are. They're very adjustable. You can go in and out, down that way if you want to, so there's a lot of adjustment there. I'm pretty happy about that, so that's good. Calm Biker recently put a exhaust on his Yamaha, and I couldn't believe how hard it was, and I was thinking, I'm glad mine wasn't that hard. All as I had to do was undo the bolts down there. If you can see, just behind there's a bolt, and that slips off, and this is all one piece here, and just bolt it there with that clamp, and Bob's your auntie. 10 minutes work. I couldn't believe how long it took poor old Calm to put his louder pipe on. But anyway, different bikes, and I think they got a lot bigger catalytic converters, is it? Or anti-pollution stuff. So yeah. I'll be going out for a ride today. Probably go up the hills just for a ride. Be nice. It's a little bit windy, but not too bad. So that's the lights. Let me know what you think. I have put them on a battery, and they are really bright. They certainly surprised me how bright they were. Okay, that's that. I had a little bit of an issue with poor old Ruby, and one day I started her up and she was coming out and all that sort of thing, and I didn't know, it sounded like it was only running on 2 or 3 cylinders or whatever, so I didn't take too much notice of it, because it is a bitch when it's cold, this thing. And I took it for a ride, and I was on a road, and I gave it a bit of throttle, and next minute it was shaking and carrying on, and then it cleared itself, and it was alright for the rest of the day. And I asked my mate Andrew what he thought, and he said, well, sounds like fuel. So what I did is I drained the carbies into a little plastic thing to see if there was any muck in it, and there was muck in it. And he said, yeah, just leave it at that for the moment. I said, what about putting on a fuel filter? He said, no, just leave it at the moment. If it does it again, well, then think about that. So the next day I started her up and went up for, I thought I'll go up in the hills this time to give it a bit of stick, and yep, did it again, but not quite as bad. So I got back to the, I went to the shop and got a fuel filter, fitted it, and he said, yeah, use a clear one with paper because they're the best, and you can see if anything gets caught in there or whatever. And so far so good. No problems with running on 3 or 2 or whatever it was running on. So it was clearing itself, but you don't want that to happen if you're passing a car. Just thought I'd mention that. I put a fuel filter on finally, and the reason being is because I use these things, fuel holders, and to fill the bike up I use my funnel. And I got a funny feeling some crap was getting in the funnel or in my bottles, or you know, so-called jerry cans full of fuel, and I've been sort of worried a little bit about doing it, filling the bike up like this, but and I've been wanting to put a fuel filter on, so I have, and I don't think it's a bad idea. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. The reason I use those jerry cans is because I've got to buy fuel when it's cheap. I'm not a rich person, I can't, this is how I survive on having a bike and a car. So Bandit Nev in the scud knuckle on this Father's Day, bidding you farewell, safe riding, and cheers for now.